welcome to Life Stories with me, Des Tong. Now, my guest this week achieved the Guinness World Record back in 1986 as the first black British female solo artist to have 6 consecutive top 20 hits. Welcome, Jaki Graham.
Hello, darling. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm very impressed with that.
So am I.
I was just saying, but you know, if I was listening to somebody talk about somebody, I'd be going, ooh, and then I realised it's me. I'm thinking, wow. You know, it's like 30 odd years later, darling, and you know, there's a history to tell.
This is going to be fun.
I've gone off on one already.
So let's go right back. Life stories. You were born in Wolverhampton?
No, Birmingham, darling.
Birmingham?
I'm a Birmingham born and bred. Yep, brought up in Handsworth.
Handsworth, right.
Yeah, went to school in Ladywood, which is where I met my hubby, my boyfriend, you know, at the time.
Right back then?
Yeah, brought up by my grandmother. So being granny reared and then, you know, going to Ladywood for my secondary school and, you know, and exams and everything else, you know, I was not allowed out. So Tony had to come to our house like 7 nights a week, and that was our going out together.
When you were at school, were you encouraged with music? You know, where did you get the bug about music from?
You know, I think it come from home, because like I said, being granny, we had a lot of reggae in the house, obviously, because you know granny loved it. But I had 2 uncles that were very close by, and one uncle was there all the time, the younger one, and my old uncle was very into jazz. My youngest uncle was soul, blues, R&B and that kind of thing. So because he was at home most of the time, I would be listening to Aretha Franklin, Carla Thomas, Lou Rawls, you know, Ray Charles and people like that. So that's the kind of thing I was listening to when I grew up. Plus, at the time when I was growing up, it was Motown. Was huge. Yeah. So chart stuff, but Motown and soul was where, you know, I was coming from.
And your first band, now, we've got a connection there, haven't we? Because a really good friend of mine, Patrick, who was a sax player in One Night Affair.
Well, one night, way back. Oh my gosh! You know, let me tell you. One night, Tony didn't come down to our house at the normal time, and we was expecting him. I'm thinking, where is he tonight? Where is he? Oh, he's not coming up. It turns out he was answering an ad in our local Birmingham Evening Mail because a soul singer wanted, okay, and that's what happened, you know. And I got this audition to go and try out for a new band that wanted a soul singer and so on. And that's where Patrick and them came into play. Fantastic. So when we joined the band and you know and started to do some gigs and things like that.
Yeah.
Bless his heart. Yeah, no, we're all here doing our thing, darling.
Yeah. And then you went on to SRO.
The SRO band, yeah, Standing Room Only.
Standing Room Only.
And what happened was I think it was something to do with politics. There was a guy named Graham Thornton that had, and some friends of ours had got together and wanted to sing. You know something, I can't, because I knew the bass player and I knew the drummer, Ronnie, and the Johns brothers, okay, Ronnie and Gibby, and I knew their sister, but the boys, one was a bass player, one was a drummer, and somehow I ended up joining the band. And doing military bases and that kind of thing, and you know the normal snobs and the clubs and everything around Birmingham and so on. And yeah, we did good. We did that for a few years. But I was sort of in different bands at the time as well, because I was also in a band called Ferrari, which was the main one.
Now here's another interesting thing. When you left, the guy who's playing keyboards with me now, a guy called Ian Martin, replaced you in that band.
Oh, really?
He said the dress was a bit tight, but...
I know.
He actually replaced you.
Because it was there was Ferrari 1, 2 and 3. Yeah. And so in between, so I like to think I did my apprenticeship and my you know, my learning curve and everything, because I was a glorified roadie as well, you know. So I'd have to help the boys with the gear and everything and so on. So I was one of the lads. But, you know, when I ended up getting spotted was because the boys weren't working at the time. Well, they were on breaks and stuff like that. We had some time off. And I got a call to do a vocal session for a jazz funk band. And they were an instrumental band, but they'd written this song and they needed some vocals. And I went down and did that. And it was through them that I ended up becoming a solo artist.
Yeah.
So because they'd taken the stuff down, they were looking for a production deal, a management deal, that kind of thing. And I think that was
and
about
you got
80.
it.
You know, the people that were dealing with them liked them and said, you know, oh, you know, can we see with the front person? Well, then they called me down, and we would do at Ronnie Scott's, because they had like a nightclub thing as well upstairs.
That's, yeah.
Oh, you know,
played there.
Yeah, and so they had this nightclub thing got upstairs as well, and then we did some other showcase gigs, and the people that were dealing with the medium wave band was David Grant and Sketch. At the time, they were Links. That's right.
Yeah.
And he was very interested in taking us on. He liked the band, but he also liked me as a separate entity. So that's what happened. And you know, and David come on, and Sketch came and said, yeah, we'd like to have her in our little unit and so on. You know, asking permission. So and that's what happened. That's how that came about. And then I met Derek Bramble, who was the writer of the hits.
And of course, ultimately, you did the duet with David Grant.
That's right. That's how that came to. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Was that an old Detroit Spinners track?
I know, darling.
Love that
and because I had the original the album, the Detroit Spinners album, when that question came about, you know, we ought to do this particular song. And it's like. But even now, to this day, I still get nervous about doing covers and stuff like that, because I'm thinking, oh, you know, it's history, and you know, that's the definitive, you know, version and so on. But I've gone on to do a few covers, darling, and they've done really well.
We were talking before. You were on Crackerjack.
Oh, you know, all these programs, I used to rush home from school.
We should have gone Crackerjack.
It's 5 o'clock. It's Crackerjack, yeah. But I used to rush home from school, and then all of a sudden. By this time now, I'd recorded an album called Heaven Knows, and that was the first album. That was '84. I did that, and we did Crackerjack, my friend. I was thinking, oh my God! I mean, and because I was always a part of a unit. That's what I should tell you. I was always a part of a unit. All of a sudden, I'm out there on my own.
Yeah.
And that's what was nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
But people were just, you know, sometimes I could say I was oblivious, but I was just having so much fun. I was so intrigued about the cameras and the this and the that. And yeah, but that was good. That was good. Crackerjack.
Was it? So what sort of transition was it like? I mean, you know, going from having a band and being with like about 6 or 7 guys and that, and then all of a sudden you're on your own.
I know. But I try to block that out, because if I was doing anything, the only time I do maybe something on my own is when we're doing playback for TV or something like that.
Yeah.
But if you're going out with a band and everything else, it wasn't me and them, it was us.
Yeah.
So that's how it made me feel safe somehow. You know, I was a part of something, and it wasn't just me. Even though it was, because once I thought about that, it was frightening.
Yeah.
But no, I had my company. I got the boys and the girls around me, and I can, you know.
Yeah.
So I was a unit.
Comfort thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
We, I know you've been on Big Centre before, and we featured on our What's On show, and I played a video, Breaking Away, where was that done?
That was Calidor in Menorca, I think it was, yeah, and that's the second album, right? And that's the title track of the second, which was the Breaking Away album, which that was the one I think really then propelled me to the national and international arena. So there were some songs on there, darling, that, you know, stands the test of time, as From Heaven Knows as well. So, yeah, in that respect, who knew? I came on the scene in the sort of mid-80s thinking, you know, this could be a one-hit wonder thing going on. But you know what? I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to go with the ride, meet and do everything and so on, and just embrace it all.
Yeah.
But then, you know, I had another hit, and then I had another hit, and it's like, oh, maybe I'm here to stay. And then when they called me to do the Breaking Away album, the video for the Breaking Away track, and to send me to Calidor, I'm thinking, ooh, I've made it now, man. They're sending me on a location video, you know, across the waters and everything else. So yeah, it was a big, big thing for me, darling. Big thing.
So after that album, when did you meet Michael McDonald?
Oh, that was another time when I was thinking. Now, I was watching a documentary on Quincy Jones, okay, and I've always been a Michael McDonald fan, not even realizing, because I only knew him from the Doobie Brothers, and I loved his voice. And so I was watching this documentary on Quincy Jones, and in that documentary they were recording Yamal Be There with James Ingram and Mike, and I'm going, that's Michael McDonald? Because I didn't know what he looked like or anything like that, but his voice and everything else, and James, I liked anyway from the Quincy Jones Dude album, I think it was way back.
Yeah.
Okay, and so I saw them thinking, anytime they're ever touring, I'd love to go and see them. But then he had the record out with Patti LaBelle on my own. And I'm thinking, oh, wow. And then I heard he was coming.
I'm going to stop you there.
Oh, go on.
We're going to take a break.
Okay.
And then I want to hear the story.
All right, darling.
Okay. Back soon. Welcome back to Life Stories with me, Des Tong, and my guest, Jaki Graham. Now, before the break, you were just starting to tell us about when you met Michael McDonald.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, he had the song out with Patti LaBelle, which was On My Own. And I'm going, I really would love to see this, So it came out to pass that he ended up doing a gig, Birmingham Odeon. I say to everybody, my hometown, Birmingham Odeon, and I'm saying to Tony, if I'm not working, is there any way that we can get to go and go and see Michael's gig? But unbeknownst to me, Tony was talking to the promoters of Michael's tour, and they were looking for a singer. I didn't realize this, but they were looking for a singer to obviously be a guest to do the hit
Patti
single,
LaBelle part,
yeah. And so I think it was a Wednesday, and he says, "We've got it." Got a phone call, and he said, "We've got it." I said, "What?" Michael McDonald said, "We got tickets to go see Michael." I was excited. And then the next thing he went, "No, you're singing with him." I went, "I beg your pardon." Well, the elation went to like fear. I'm thinking, how dare you? I can't sing like Patti. What's wrong with you? And I started moaning, and that nearly caused a divorce, let me tell you. I said, I can't, are you crazy? Yeah, no, we're all right. But anyway, I had to meet him the following day, okay? And I was gigging with him that night. So I heard about it on the Wednesday, and I was gigging with him on the Thursday night. So I needless to say, I was sweating bricks all night. And then, got to the Birmingham Odeon. I was in the auditorium watching, the sound check and everything else, thinking, gosh, they were so hot. His voice, the band was rocking, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, Anyway, Michael then says, "Is Jaki here?" And I'm going, "Yes, darling." And Tony saying, "Now, don't go up there and be like a pleb." He said, you can give me this pep talk, Anyway, I go up on stage and I said, and I'm to everybody, "Hi, everybody, everything all right?" Michael says to me, "Is the key all right for you?" Now, for the life of me, I don't know what key I sing in. All I know is I can't sing like Patti LaBelle, okay? But we did. I did the sound check, and just doing the first, few bars. The boys looked at me. I looked at the boys. I looked at Michael, and then their faces just beamed, and I'm thinking, oh, they don't seem to mind what I'm doing. Anyway, is everything all right for you? And would you like to come with us in the coach with the, on the tour and everything? I said, well, my daughter's on school holiday. Natalie was about 6 at the time. I said, my daughter's on school holiday, darling. We were going to follow your coach in our car and everything else. So, we're all family people here, don't worry. But I got to meet Michael's mom on that tour, his wife, his cousins. And, I mean, the whole family had come on this tour.
Right.
Because they wanted to come to England. But we've, since then, baby, he's looked after. He's been a friend for life. He really has written some stuff for me for my albums. My kids call him Uncle Mike, and since then, Michael's had children of his own. So, so throughout the years, he's always looked after me.
Fantastic.
And, it's been and the band as well, so they've been some good friendship. Good friendship.
You did a track that was a massive hit in America, didn't you? Ain't Nobody. Was that the Chaka Khan one?
Yeah. Oh, now, did I say earlier about doing covers?
Yeah.
I did. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they said, Jack, this would be a great one for you to do. I'm going, no, you're joking, because Shaka's my lady, man, and nobody can do it, like she does. But Twist My Arm, Twist My Arm. I ended up doing it, and I had a #1 on the Billboard chart in America with it, and I did a little tour with it. So I think, and Shaka gave me the thumbs up as well. She said, if anybody's going to do it, Jackie will do it, justice. So, and which was I thought was really lovely. Yeah. So I did do the cover, but it's such a song though. It's such an uplifting, feel-good tune that I think you can't fail with it. You really can't fail because everybody knows it, and it's an iconic tune. So.
Big change in style then. Like 2009, you get a call from the BBC about doing this big band thing.
Yeah. Let me tell you, everybody, I'm still learning and I'm still great. I say this to everybody. I say to the kids every time I see, young artists coming up and everything, you never stop learning. When I got the call to do the big band thing, they, Jack, would you be interested in doing Gershwin with the big band? And I'm going, I'm feeling, oh, yeah. My heart's saying, yeah, but nerves and that, I have to be pushed. I'm one of these people, regardless of this confidence that you might see. But, I do have to be pushed. So I said, well, yeah, I'd love to do it. So I started to research the songs that we were going to do. And I looked at it, and back then the songs had refrains and stuff, so I'm thinking, I don't know this stuff, I really have to study. And as it went through and I started to research it, I'm thinking, but I know this stuff. I grew up listening to, films and everything else, and my dad used to be whistling, some of these tunes. I'm thinking, but because he had an intro to it somehow that you don't always hear, I didn't think I knew this. Anyway, I learned them, and I met the band, and I had to go down to London, and then rehearse and everything else with them, and I just in that little room and the sound of the band. Well, anyway, I did it at the in Birmingham here, Town Hall was it? 2000, I think it was 9 or 10 or something.
2009 you did Gershwin.
There you go. Oh, I remember nothing. But the fear I had to, but it was awesome. It was awesome. And
beautiful
then
sound, isn't it, in orchestra?
Oh my gosh! And you got all, and I just wanted to step back and just let them play, because. But I did. But it made me think. Actually, I quite like this. I quite like how the voice sounded doing that style of music. So, and then I got a call a couple of years then, or a year or so later, to do Duke Ellington.
Duke Ellington,
That's right. To do Duke Ellington.
Great songs.
And oh my God.
Great songs.
You talk about things that stand the test of time. There's me thinking, I think our stuff sort of stands the test of time. But those songs from the 40s, the 40s.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Absolutely brilliant.
And you also did a tour with his Cliffness, didn't you, Sir Cliff?
Oh, my friend, my baby, Sir Cliff. I tell everybody about Sir Cliff. Yeah. You know something? Curtis, I mean, I've met a lot of people along the way, darling, and I say this all the time. And it's been some wonderful collaborations and wonderful meetings and stuff like that, and just to hang out with some of these people. But courtesy of Sir Cliff, I got to meet Freda Payne. Now, we're talking about collaborations again, because I covered one of Freda Payne's song, Band of Gold, and I had a little hit with that too. And I was telling Freda this, and she said thumbs up as well. So she heard it, and she was aware of it. I met Percy Sledge.
Yeah.
I met a gentleman by the name of Lamont Dozier. There was James Ingram on that tour. There was Billy Davis and Marilyn McHugh, right? And from Fifth Dimension. So everything is 60 degrees. But the reason I tell you this, because I was signed to Motown for a short period of time.
I know, yeah.
For sure, okay. And to meet people like Lamont Dozier, and
one
they
of the
all,
gods, isn't he?
Oh my God! And the story that he had to tell, absolutely brilliant. And he and Freda went to school together, and they all knew each other. And myself and Sir Cliff was just sitting there thinking, wow, with the stories they were telling. And I was looking at Sir Cliff, and he's looking at me thinking, it's like hearing your elders talk about old stories when you're in the company, and you're just listening. But they absolutely, and I learned so much from them too. And they were very complimentary about what I
should think so.
What I do and how I do what I do.
2013, you get a doctorate in music at Wolverhampton University, and now you're pro-chancellor.
Oh,
how amazing is that?
Who knew? I'm thinking, for what? Achievement to music and that kind of. I'm thinking, And yeah, you live your life, you do your thing, and I hope that everybody enjoys what I do. All I have to offer anybody is my voice, okay? And I hope that the songs that, you know, and it's worked out that the songs are a part of people's history and everything else. But I never thought that I was doing anything, but I just loved what I do, and I loved the reaction that people gave, and that people are excited when I do it. You know, I make them smile.
Yeah.
But to get a doctorate for something that, you know, I never ever dreamt of. I didn't even think I was contributing to that extent, you know, because I was out there having fun. That, you know, do you know what I mean? Yeah. You'd like to have longevity, and I would like to think you're good enough to have it. And 30 odd years later, darling, I'm still here doing my thing. God bless everybody.
And you've got a book. I mean, I'm rushing in now because we're running out of time here. But
I do waffle,
you're going a book.
I know. That was another thing. Some journalist friends of ours and people along the way have said, Jackie, you know, you ought to do a biography. I'm going, but I've got nothing to tell anybody, because, you know, you just do your thing. I have to cook, clean, wash and iron. That ain't interesting. But, you know, things that happen throughout the industry, myself and my family and that kind of thing and so on, and I've just happened, you know, we sit and we talk, say, oh, you know, you ought to bring up, I'd love to read all that, and that's what's happening now, baby. Yeah, and it's going to be called Heaven Knows.
Do you know, I'm going to have to bring you back for another programme. I think we've still got more to talk about.
I'm so sorry, darling. I'm waffling on and I'm still
Absolutely fantastic. So Jackie, thank you so much for
Thanks for hanging out, darling. I hope that was interesting.
So join me again for another Life Stories with me, Des Tong.